And good evening, everyone. We are live here at Bobby Lackey Stadium, where it is a disappointing loss for the Weslaco East Wildcats as they lose in this one by a final score of 24-10. Carlos Robledo, along with Mike Gonzalez. And Mike, despite the loss, yes, it was a loss. Hannah did lose tonight. Hannah loses to Los Fresnos 34-31, and so that moves Hannah now to 2-2, Los Fresnos 2-2, and Weslaco East, despite a 1-3 record, only one behind those two teams. And let's say that Weslaco beats Rivera tomorrow, they will also be 2-2. So Weslaco East right there, still in the hunt for a playoff spot.
You know, if there is a bright spot, Carlos, it would be that there is still a lot of football left to play. There are 3 more games left. You know, there is little room for error. Got to make sure to take care of business these next 3 weeks. You know, the other bright side to it would be that, quote unquote, I think the hardest part of the schedule for Weslaco East is over. So now they just got to make sure that they go back to the film room tomorrow, make the adjustments they need to make the corrections, and take care of business these next 3 weeks.
You're exactly right. Next week they will be at Brownsville Rivera. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights in this one, because it was a wild affair early on, and it was the Harlingen Cardinals coming out with a deep pass right here, and this is Castro to Duffy. Jesse Castro with a catch, 64 yards for the touchdown, and it was 7-0 Harlingen with the lead early on. Weslaco East with a field goal right here that made it 7-3, and then it will be Weslaco East. Deep pass right here, right before the half, falls into the hands right there of the young man, and he scores right there. That is Alvaro Medrano. Touchdown, Weslaco East. That was just one of those crazy catches right before the half. That tied the score 10-10 because Harlingen, before that touchdown, had a field goal, and it was 10-10 at that point at the half. In the third quarter, no scoring. We go to the fourth quarter, still no score. Just a bizarre game, kind of going back and forth with punting. Lots of punting in this game. A couple of turnovers by Weslaco East Wildcats. A long pass right there scored for the Cardinals. Another touchdown right here for the Cardinals late in the game. And your final score 24-10 as Weslaco East coming up on the short end of this one, as the Harlingen Cardinals move to a perfect score of 4-0 in district play. San Benito again, they win tonight. San Benito beat Harlingen South 28-0. So Harlingen and San Benito both atop of 32-6. Tomorrow, Weslaco High will be playing at Rivera, and that game will be live on Facebook. So go ahead and check us out there. We'll have the call between Weslaco and Rivera. If you're wondering about what happened in Mercedes, between Mercedes and Ed Calchelsa, that was a big game, probably a district title on the line right there. The Tigers, they beat Ed Calchelsa 27-12. But right now, let's talk about Weslaco East, Mike, and once again, still in the hunt right here. Let's talk a little bit about this game. It seemed like it was just a defensive battle, especially in that third quarter. Both teams just going back and forth, waiting for just someone to make the big play, and it was Harlingen who made that big play late.
It was, Carlos. I felt like the Wildcats were in position to take over the game late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. We were getting some first downs. Roy Pedraza was carrying the ball. JC Vargas was making some plays. Lefevre was running with the ball as well. You know, just mistakes. You know, it goes back to mistakes and turnovers and penalties is what hurt us. And, you know, what happened was that just Harlingen, took advantage of those mistakes with, the long pass and, to take the lead and, finish the game off. But I thought the defense played lights out. They made some big-time stops. The secondary, I thought, played very well. Yeah. I mean, they did give up 2 big passes, yes. But, I mean, they did stop them on crucial situations in the third quarter to keep, us in the game. And then the offense, again, got the ball, had some opportunities. We just couldn't finish.
For the first time, Harlingen plays against Weslaco East in the history of these two schools, and you would think, 2 powerful programs like that they would play one another, but no, this is the first time ever that they play, and Harlingen came out to play. Their defense stepped up to it. It looked like Leo Tienda was a little banged up in this game, but they were able to come through, but it was just one of those games. Once again, who made the big play? And it turned out that it was Harlingen.
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, I was very impressed with the Harlingen's defensive line. I mean, I thought they did a great job penetrating. With Coach Manny Gomez, there's always going to be a guy or 2 extra in the box, so it's very difficult to run the ball, yet our young offensive line were still able to make some of those blocks. I mean, it was a challenge, but yet, Roy was still able to find some lanes and make some big-time runs. There was about 2 or 3 runs where he had about 15 yards at least. There was another one about 33 early in the game. And so, the O-line, as young as they are, I know we started a freshman, I thought the O-line played pretty well. I mean, considering it's Harlingen's defense, who are always very aggressive and very well coached.
Once again, some of the final scores that are coming across here. Los Fresnos over Hanna, 34-31. San Benito over Harlingen South, 28-0. Mercedes in a big game against Ed Calchasa, 27-12. And tomorrow it'll be Weslaco High and Rivera. It's time to look forward, time to look on to see what is left for Weslaco East. The 3 more games left. They still got to play who? They still got to play Brownsville Rivera. They still got to play Harlingen South. And they still got to play what? Hanna?
Hanna. Last game of the season, homecoming.
Last game of the season. So now is your time, to clean things up and move forward and take care of business. You got those 1, 2, 3. You win those 3 games, you're I don't know if you're guaranteed a playoff spot, but the way things are shaking out, they could be in good shape for a playoff spot.
The Wildcats play their cards right, Carlos. Going into that last game against Brownsville Hanna, it could very well be for a playoff spot. And, with that being homecoming, that means a lot of folks will be coming into town that are former Wildcat alumni. The crowd's going to be fired up.
Sure.
It's going to be here in Weslaco. So that's where, we got to focus and make sure to take care of business, though. And, I think we'll be all right.
All right, Coach Burgett is here. Coach, the microphone is on. So just tell me a little bit your thoughts right now. Your kids, they played hard tonight. And the good news is that you're still only 1 game back of some of the other teams that are chasing that 4th playoff spot.
God, I'm glad you had good news tonight.
Always got to put a positive spin, Coach.
Oh, definitely. I think the true Wildcat fans will realize that the kids are playing really hard. Not only really hard, but, the luck of the draw, we drew Weslaco first, and then we followed by San Benito, Los Fresnos, and now Harlingen. And we've got some injuries. We've kept pretty quiet. We've got some starters out, but you see those kids step up to the plate, and they played their butts off tonight. And, they're playing Wildcat football. They have for 11 years I've been here, and they're going to continue to play Wildcat football. And we told our kids one thing tonight, and I want these fans to know it. It's time. It's time. Either we start our playoffs next week, Saturday in Brownsville Rivera. And these kids are excited about it, and I hope the fans are excited about it. If they know anything about football, they know that we win this next 3, we'll be okay. So, we're going to take 1 game at a time. We got 3 good opponents. We knew the district was tough coming into the new district, and we knew the first 4 games were the 4 favorites to be in the playoffs. And we took care of Weslaco High, and I'm very proud of the kids, and we stepped up. And, we played 3 outstanding ball clubs. We played 3 non-district ball clubs. 2 of them are leading their district right now, and the other one's in second place with a 5-1 record. So I think we played some great opponents. That's what we want to do at Weslaco East. We want to be very competitive. I wish we could win every game. It just don't. The ball's not bouncing our way right now. We're making too many mistakes. We're turning the ball over, but our defense came out here and they hit them. They hit them hard tonight, and I'm very proud of them. Offense, we knew what we had this year, and our kids are playing really hard. And you know what? I expect great things in the next 3 weeks, and I hope that the Wildcat Nation will understand that we have 3 games left. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's time.
Coach, when it comes to answering the bell, Weslaco East has always come through, and then it's like you say, Coach, it's time. So what do you feel like you guys need to do moving forward?
Well, we just got to go back and watch the film, and we got some silly mistakes tonight. In my 11 years here, we haven't got personal fouls, and that we got a couple personal fouls today. A couple kids lost their emotions out on the field. And, those were big. We're driving to try to win the game, and those things normally don't happen. And we had a couple of fumbles tonight, and those things will even out during a long year. So I'm not worried. Our kids played hard. You can't point at one play. I heard last week that people, if we wasn't offsides on the field goal.
On the field goal.
Well, I mean, we didn't get up to that point where we let that decide the game. We've been okay. So, us Wildcats, one thing about Wildcats, the true Wildcats, they stay together. They don't point fingers. And I'm going to tell you this right now. These Wildcats have got big futures ahead of them. So, like I said, it's time.
You got a streak on the line of going to the playoffs, don't you, Coach?
Yes. We made it 9 straight years, 9 great years. And, these kids know what's at stake. And like I said, it's time. And, they know right now that if we just take 1 game at a time, that streak won't end. We're not going to give up. These kids won't give up. The coaching staff sure won't give up. you know, us coaches have been in the playoffs 9 straight years. Yes, we're sort of spoiled like the fans are. You know, I mean, I'm spoiled. I want to be back in the playoffs, but, you know, I'm sure the other 8 teams are saying the same thing. So, you know, it's tough every year, and us in Weslaco High, we're struggling out of the gates, but, you know, we're going to see if both teams can. And, you know, I talked to Tony. He called me yesterday, and we still think both of us can make it. And, you know, we're just going to take it one game at a time, and like I said, it's time.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you
Thank
coming
you
out
guys.
here in the post-game show. Coach Mike Burgett, after a loss here tonight, and he's exactly right, and that's what you got to tell the kids, because you don't want them giving up on the season. You don't want the fans giving up on the season. You don't want anybody giving up on the season. So you move forward to the next game. You play out the rest of the season, and then and he's right. You win those 3 games, you're in great shape for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think Coach Burgett made a great point that the kids, you know, they're not going to give up, and I know they won't. I mean, you know, we're used to winning, you know, maybe to a certain degree we're a little spoiled with, you know, all their success, but I mean, this is a challenge, and you know, we love challenges. And I know they do too. And I mean, this will be a good test for them moving forward for the rest of the season.
And there's one thing about Weslaco East, they love playing from behind. They love being the underdog. And when that happens, when their backs are against the wall, that's usually when they play their best. All right, let's go to the highlights one more time just to show everybody, in case you didn't see them. It was a 64-yard touchdown pass for Harlingen to start off the scoring in this game. They were up 7-0. And you'll see the pass right here deep down the field. And in fact, it was a couple of deep passes that hurt the Wildcats, but a big play right there to get it started, 7-0. And Weslaco East with a long field goal right here. Orlando Fuentes with a 41-yard field goal. You're going to need that kicker in the playoffs if you do make the playoffs. Then right before the half, they were down 10-7. The catch right there bounces off the player from the Harlingen Cardinals into the hands of Weslaco East player, and that is Alvaro Medrano with the touchdown right there. 10-10 at the half. It's scoreless until the 4th quarter when Harlingen with another a deep pass down the field. They were battling back and forth. They couldn't get anywhere, folks, if you watch this game, until this one broke it open. Harlingen breaks the tie, 10-10, go up 17-10. They score again late in the 4th quarter right here to make it 24-10, and that is the final score. Harlingen over Weslaco East Wildcats. Weslaco East now 1-3, but still have a shot at the playoffs. Mike, final thoughts here for tonight before we wrap it up.
Oh, I mean, Carlos, again, I mean, it's all about now moving forward, you know, it's on. I mean, it's, you know, moving forward, there's no little room for mistake. They got to come out and play, and they got to take care of business. And, you know, the great thing is that we have an excellent coaching staff. I mean, when it comes to Coach Burgett, when it comes to Coach Guzman, when it comes to the rest of the staff, I mean, this is what they like anyway. I mean, they love to play, you know, with a chip on their shoulder, so that's what they're going to have moving forward. All
right, I'd like to thank Coach Mike Burgett for coming on the post-game show. Also like to wish the Wildcat Regiment, because next week they will be at Pigskin, so good luck to them. Bring home the one and advance to the next level. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Robledo. We'll see you next time. Good night.